A company added $9 billion in revenue without changing their methodology, hiring new reps, rolling out new technology, or even bringing in new leadership. They made one change to how their team was trained. And it's the change that almost no sales leader is willing to make because it feels like the opposite of selling. In this video, I'm going to break down what that change is, why it works, and the reason most teams will hear this and keep doing what they've always done. I've spent 27 years in sales organizations across medical device, biotech, finance, and tech. And the pattern I see in teams that grow versus teams that stay flat is something almost nobody is teaching. It has very little to do with selling skills. Here's what most training looks like. A team gets together for a few days, someone teaches them better discovery questions, they run through how to handle most common objections, they get coached on positioning value instead of price, they practice their demo, the team leaves feeling sharper, they go back to their accounts, and 6 months later, the numbers look almost identical to before. Because every single bit of skills training assumes the reps are working on the right deals to begin with. They're not. The single biggest leak in any sales team is not skill. It's where the rep is putting their time. A team with average ability working on real deals will outperform a team of stars spread thin across the pipeline full of garbage. Now think about how a great fund manager actually wins. The job is not to pick more winners than other funds. The job is to kill losing positions fast so the capital can flow in the ones that are actually working. The best portfolio managers are ruthless about cutting losses. They don't fall in love with a thesis. They're constantly reallocating capital towards what's moving. A single pipeline works the very same way. Every deal is in a position. Every hour your rep spends on a deal is capital. And almost every team I've worked with will treat their pipeline like a hoarder treats a basement. Nothing gets thrown out. Bad deals stay in forever. New deals get layered on top. The rep ends up spreading attention across 25 opportunities when they should be running hard on 8. So the one change that creates different results is not a new skill. It's a new ritual installed into the week. It's a meeting where every rep has to defend in front of their peers and their manager why they're still spending time on each open deal. They have to defend the right to keep it on the board at all. Most reps have never had to seriously justify why their deal is real. They've been trained to fight for deals. Objectively evaluating on whether a deal deserves their time isn't part of the muscle they've built. When you put them in a room and ask them, what specific evidence do you have that this is going somewhere, half of the pipeline collapses inside of 1 quarter. And then something interesting happens. They get more time back than they thought was possible. And then they start putting it into deals that survive the cut. They prepare differently for those calls. The buyers feel a different level of attention. The close rate moves up. Better choices about where to spend the hour are what move the number. The company, from the start of the video, the $9 billion one, didn't change their methodology or hire new reps or roll out new technology. They put one mechanism in place: the weekly defense of the pipeline. Inside of 2 years, the funnel was clean and the reps were focused. The revenue followed in a way no amount of skills training could have produced. Here's why almost no organizations will do this on their own. It's politically uncomfortable. Reps don't want to admit a deal is dead because it makes their pipeline look smaller and it puts the target on their back. Managers don't love forcing the conversation because it surfaces uncomfortable truths about how their team has been spending the quarter. The CRO doesn't love a smaller forecast to report. The board doesn't love a smaller forecast to take to the street. So everyone agrees quietly to keep the lie running. The pipeline stays bloated. The forecast keeps slipping. The unlock is the willingness to look at reality, to say out loud in a room with the peers that the deal you've been putting time into for months has no real path to close, to kill it, to take the time back and invest it somewhere it actually can compound. You can do this on a personal level too, even if you're not running a team. Take 30 minutes this week and look at your own open deals. For each one, ask yourself what specific evidence you have that the buyer has actually committed to making a decision. Not interest, not friendly meetings, real evidence. a budget that has actually been allocated for this specific decision, a timeline that's tied to a business event the buyer has to hit. Ideally, an internal champion who has put their name on getting this done. If you can't name the evidence, the deal is probably not real. And the time you're spending is being stolen from deals that are. This is the mindset shift that separates the teams that grow from the teams that stay flat. The growth comes from discipline about where the work goes. Working harder doesn't fix it, and learning new techniques doesn't fix it. The teams that actually win are the ones brave enough to make the pipeline smaller on purpose. If you're running a sales organization where activity is high but forecast keeps shifting, where the pipeline looks healthy on paper but the revenue isn't flowing, the issue is almost always opportunity selection. Reps are spending time on deals that were never real, and no skills training in the world is going to fix that. That's the work I do with sales teams, especially around strategic accounts that drive the majority of your revenue. If you want to look at where your team is leaking time and what it would take to reconcentrate them on deals that actually move the number, book a call with me. The link is in the description. We'll go through your situation honestly and see if there's a fit. And if you want to understand the 5 levels of strategic accounts, watch the video right here.